All right, welcome back. It's the final day. It's make or break it time. So, we think we've acquired everything that we need to have this car run and drive today. So, we have our existing drive shaft, what we're gonna cut out of to make it. We got a bunch of hoses, fuel line, coolant, vacuum. There's our mismatch of hoses. We got our headers, we got new header gaskets. I bought another dipstick. See if I can not break this one. Our new U-joints for our drive shaft. We're going to, E34s have the battery under the back seat. I don't know if you guys know this. This car, the guy who did it did actually a really good job. When he sunk the car onto the frame, it took away some of that space where the battery would go, and the other side too, where all like the general module and other things are. He rebuilt the floor and then welded it and seam sealed it back in. So there's not enough space for a regular size battery under the seat anymore, and I do want the seats to go back in. So we were talking about maybe ripping an E38 or E39 or just, you know, some other power wire out of a car and then rewiring this one and running it all the way to the trunk. But we came up with a less smart idea, but that takes less time. So we have a 4-foot battery cable, power wire thing, and then we have a cutoff switch. So usually you put your cutoff switch on the ground so that if it breaks or if something happens, you don't end up with like a 4-foot
fire cable.
Yeah, just heating element pretty much. So, but we're gonna go for the 4-foot heating element idea because it serves our purpose and we don't have to try and join the two wires with a crimp connector that AutoZone didn't have. So this is our crimp connector. So we got that. We got new gaskets for our headers. We got an E-fan. Ooh, we went to the junkyard because this brake proportioning valve that is for the 70s truck apparently is $100 and you can only get it at Napa. So we spent $11 at the junkyard after we spent $6 to get in. We were at AutoZone. We were being a little, we were being frivolous. We said we were gonna splurge for some gauges. So we have a sick gauge pod that, I don't know, comes with really strong paper. There, maybe the paper will stay on there. Anyway, so we got water, battery, oil pressure, and the water temp comes with its own sensor with a plug part, and then you just pick your fitting, however big your hole is, and this thing screws into it and puts it in. So we can just put it right on the top of the manifold right next to the water neck. Or we'll probably have to put it on the side. Wonder if it'll melt over there.
Nah.
Because we didn't buy a plug for where the sensor was. That's why we were gonna buy a sensor so we could plug it even though the sensor wasn't gonna work.
So we got that instead.
We got this instead.
But it might melt.
Ooh, I figured out also how it changes the color. You just put a cap over the light bulb.
Nice.
It's super fancy color changing stuff. These is not by far the best of gauge packages. This whole thing, I don't know, it listed at 40 bucks. How much did we pay for it?
I don't remember. I think we did pay 40.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
Bummer.
48, but
then we got our oil pressure line. So yeah. So, oh, and the other thing we got, which is actually sitting in the car now already, is the adapter for the clutch line from the BMW to the GM.
it's right there on the ATF cap.
Oh. Here, we went to On Track Performance. They always help us out when we need little random things. So this is M12 by 1.0 and this is M10 by 1.0. So BMW, GM, and they're both inverted flares. It's like actually the correct way to do this. Like, it's all just falling together, guys. And then for our trunk, Amos didn't want to walk me, we'll just go somewhere. We're going to attach a different filler neck on this, like out of an actual truck. And just use the end of it that has the cap on it, and then I'll like rig the cap up to something right here or something, and then we can actually just take the cap off, fill it, put the cap back on. I think that's going to be our move. That's it.
So it's time to get to work. It's like 4 right now.
It's just about 4. I don't think my wife wants me to work all night.
You know what we forgot too?
Huh?
Exhaust.
Later.
Later.
Yeah, later. Let's make the car run before we do the exhaust.
Yeah.
And we still need to work on the surprise.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Good thing I'm a master welder.
Requires welding.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's get to work. I think we're going to be working pretty individually, so it's just going to be updates.
Yep.
But hopefully the next update is it's just done.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Joel's here too, and helping.
Yeah, helping.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
I call it helping.
Okay. Just being
Moral support.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'm providing lots of moral support, if nothing else.
Exactly.
Probably nothing else.
All right, we're back. Okay, so things have happened, most of them good. Joel has been killing on the cooling system. We have a fan mounted to the radiator. It isn't, we haven't wired it, but we're gonna run it over here and put a relay in the factory BMW relay box, and she should be pretty good. On that front, we got this hose is gonna go right there. We cut that one, the lower hose, to length, so we're looking pretty solid there. We plugged the coolant temp sensor port on this head.
Are you guys plugged it?
Yep, we took the plug out of there, and then we're gonna use that open hole right there, if you can see it, for our temp sensor, for our actual coolant temp gauge. It's gonna be good. Big deal though, brake lines are plumbed all the way through. We got the proportioning valve in. I cracked all the bleeder screws. I just took them all out. And then clean fluid came out of everything. This master cylinder, I'm pretty sure, isn't from this whole booster assembly, isn't from the frame of the, I think it's from like a newer Chevy. And it turns out that is bad. We drilled holes in the BMW brake pedal and mounted it and everything. And it's really stiff pedal, and no fluid comes out of the front hole when I do it. So we're gonna go AutoZone, pick up another master, which not a bad thing to put new parts on stuff. It's 50 bucks. I'm not upset. The clutch slave and everything was all on, but I had to pull it out to put the headers on, which we're currently installing. But here's the big deal. So I broke off the dipstick on this because it was hitting the steering shaft the first day we worked on this. And let me show you how these work so you guys can get a visual. So I bought another one because I forgot that I broke it off. I broke it off like right there. This is the amount that goes into the block. So this whole part sticks up. Well, with that broken out, I realized I was not gonna be able to get that back out. So what we've done, I put that right at that spot, like where it would be the thing, and then whatever, measure that to like right there to make it about the same length. Okay. And then we're gonna drain this completely and then fill it with the correct amount of oil, and then we'll know what the correct amount is. And then we will mark it on our new dipstick. But check out how it fits. So there's a header going through. Look where this thing goes. Super slim dipstick.
You don't even have to pop the hood.
No, you can check your oil from your driver's side wheel. Just reach in. Bam.
Don't
done.
get burned on the headers, and you're having a good time.
Don't even get burned on the headers. Like, this is just. So I was pretty bummed about the brakes, but I was really stoked about the dipstick solution. So
it's a roller coaster.
that's where we're at. We got Joel here, Roger's here. Jason came to come do M50 things. Maybe just pick up an engine and leave. You guys don't know about that though. Don't worry about that. And then Will went. He's done with M20 stroker things for the day. Hopefully you guys see an M20 stroker video soon, because he did it. And he went to the gym, and he's gonna come back and help us wire it and get it going. And Zach is working on his car, and then he said he might drive it over here tonight.
And we actually found a solution for our surprise, which is still a surprise, but a solution has been found.
Yes, I was worried I couldn't find what I was looking for, but then I found another one that's better. So we're good. Oh, so here's a bummer. With the 37s, it smacks clean into my M5 bumper. M5 bumper. And that. So it's a bummer because a 4-inch lift for this truck is probably like $400. And I'm gonna do that. But I think for this weekend, we need to just cut those things. So maybe we'll cut them and save them, and then Hamish can weld that side back on, and then we can practice fiberglassing that side, because M5 bumpers are fiberglass.
You guys will see my minty welding skills when I post a video about that car over there.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. We're trucking along. Feeling pretty good. She is pretty close to being able to stop and shift gears at this point. Oh, drive shaft things happen. I cut the drive shaft. It was like that somehow. So this one we're gonna use. So what I was gonna do is just kind of tack these in, not put the new U-joints in them yet, but put these in place on both ends, lift it all the way up at full droop, and then just measure the distance between there and there, whatever that may be, and cut it out of this. I was really hoping to find something that would slip into that, but I don't have that, and I'm just not gonna spend the time to find it. So it's gonna be a little bit harder because it's pretty much exactly the same size. So I'll just get it as straight as possible and just...
We could use the wheel method where we wrap tape around it until it centers.
But it's the same size. That's if you had something that slides into it.
If something slides into it, take it off.
That?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's, we could do that for the one side.
Yeah. And then the other side's just going to be eyeballing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So maybe we should stick this side and this side so that the fucked up end is farther off.
There you go.
But that's where we're at. Things are going good. Thanks for watching.
What's going on, YouTube? I'm here. I'm present now, and I'm jumping right in. So these guys have been knocking it out, killing it, and I guess my responsibility, no problem. My responsibility at this point, my goal is to do all things electricity. So I got to get the distributor in, get it timed correctly. I got to get power to the coil. I got to get the alternator charging the battery. I got to get the battery powering the starter. I got to get the start signal from the key over to the starter. What else? I got to get the fan to turn on. Electronic choke working, if there is one.
It's manual.
I don't see one, so we're good on that. Temp sensor, gauges.
And on the car, all we care about is windows and headlights and brake lights.
Windows, headlights, brake lights. Okay. So
And I got some bad news.
what's the bad news?
Hamish ran the drill bit through the brake light switch wiring.
You're welcome.
Okay, well that's not a huge deal, but that is kind of super annoying because now I have to shove my head under the dash. Yes, all right, time to be king of the E34. Let's do this.
Wire boy.
Wire boy.
Sparky from
Engage.
All right, guys. So it's me, Chris, behind the camera, and it is 4:02 in the morning. It's been a long day. I'm the only one here. Things are not looking great. As you can see, the brake booster is now disconnected. We do not have brakes. We can only get the front brakes to work. It seems the back are plugged, so maybe something on that. And I couldn't get the clutch hydraulics to bleed. I pulled it all out thinking maybe the master was wrong, was bad. It wasn't. So now I pulled the booster out to get the lines back in. They're kind of a pain. I think they're about back in. Will got pretty far with the wiring. We need nuts for the back of the alternator, and then also down for the starter to attach wires. But what about some good news? I found the wire for all the power. It's kind of dark there. There you go. This is it right here. That powers the fuse box. So headlights work, one tail light works. We're definitely hoping to leave tomorrow around noon or so, but we're she's fighting us, but this is what happens every time. I'm gonna go home, sleep for a couple hours, and then get back up here. I think Hamish will probably sleep a little bit. He kind of crashes pretty hard on these things when he pulls late nights and then is dead for a few days. So, but Joelle's been helping a ton, so I'm pretty thankful for that. And then Will has been doing everything he can too, but he has this customer E30. That's where the stroker ended up going. He's pretty close to finishing it. Has maybe 2 hours to put it all back together tomorrow. He'll get that done, and then he can jump back on getting the wiring going. And yeah, hopefully we hopefully we make it, guys. that's it for tonight, but it's probably gonna be in the same video, so see you in a second. All right, guys, it's the next day. We're both, well, I'm dead, but Chris is doing pretty well.
Doing good. I already accomplished one thing. I checked all the fluids in diff, transmission, transfer case. Rear diff took 3 quarts of gear oil. Transfer case took like a little less than a quart. Transmission took almost nothing. Front diff took like half a quart. But they're all in. Trying to find a funnel now.
And you guys
to put oil in the engine.
You guys actually might have heard in the news, but there's a fire, and there is haze everywhere.
Yeah, it's fire in Colorado, another fire season. I kind of like it. It kind of sucks for the
nature?
No, it's fine for that.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks for like breathing and stuff in your eyes.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's like kind of cool when it looks like this. It's kind of like apocalyptic and shit.
It is a little apocalyptic. Dude, you guys can't really see too well on the camera, but there's haze just everywhere. And we're trying to add to that with our straight pipe Chevy. But yeah, we need a funnel. This is basically morning things. I'll show them the drive shaft.
Oh
You
yeah.
find a funnel.
I forgot to show you guys the drive shaft in the last clip. And I did actually. I got home at like a little before 5, and I took a long shower because I was covered in brake fluid. Got to bed at like 5:30, and woke up with the kids at 7:30. So apparently I wasn't kidding about. I'm gonna go get a couple hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So it's 10, or I don't know. I was back here at 10.
It's like 10:40 now, I think.
Yeah, and we're on it.
It's a good shaft. Made it last night. It's a little cocked off to the end, but it'll be fine. Here we go. My minty welds came in clutch, but you can see we added maybe an inch back there, and then lowered it, raised it, lowered it, raised it, and the slip yoke works just fine. So that's good, and we rebuilt the U-joints as well. So you could essentially just call us a full-service drive shaft shop.
Hell yeah.
So that's in. And then the welds weren't super pretty, but if it fails, we do just have front-wheel drive we can use, which I think we've mentioned before too.
Yep. Cool thing about 4-wheel drive vehicles. Yeah, we gotta get the car going. We're gonna try to keep you more updated today. Yesterday we were just kind of busting it out, and like I said last night, Joel was killing it. Everybody was doing a really good job. Like, we actually got a lot done. If it wasn't for the hydraulics like fighting us, like, this thing would be really fucking close right now. Like, we'd just be like tidying up the fuel so it didn't smell like gas inside, and just waiting for Will to do a little bit of wiring, and it'd be running and driving. But we got some stuff to do, but we're gonna make it happen.
Hydraulics fought us, man.
So,
well, cool. Yeah, let's get to it again.
cool.
That's rust repair.
Well, guys, we're back at it. Things have gone well and not well, but we're getting there. All right. Power steering, hooked up and filled. Oil, filled. Booster and stuff put back on. Clutch hydraulics, working 100%. Clutch linkage or whatever inside, not very good. So something about us using the big block clutch and flywheel and pressure plate. The shift fork pivot fork, whatever you want to call it, is
Not stoked.
there isn't enough throw to disengage the clutch. And it's not because it's a BMW Master pushing a GM Slave. It has full throw of the Slave. It's like it can't go any farther. It's running into the transmission. But on the inside, so like it's moving as far as it can like this way, but it's not moving like enough this way. So either we need to like make the pivot area bigger, or like put stuff on the front of the fork so that it pushes the throw-up bearing more into the pressure plate and disengages the fingers so it can spin. But whatever, we're not fixing that today. I'm just gonna drive it without a clutch. I've been driving my white GTR with no slave cylinder. It's just gonna be the same thing. I looked it up, second, third, and fourth gear, it's a 4-speed, are synchronized. First gear isn't. I guess I'm just not using first gear unless it's from a stop. So.
And then fuel?
We got fuel going on. So Joel and I got it hooked up underneath. We got a soft line to a hard line to another soft line, coming out here to another soft line, because they were all different sizes and that's what we had. But what I'm pretty proud of is the filler neck setup. So we got an M20 coolant crossover pipe.
I haven't seen this yet. This is hilarious.
And the rear, I'm gonna put a hose clamp here and here. I think I might leave this hose clamp off. And then we got this, our vent too right there. So what we're gonna get going on is you go, you know, put your gas filler neck in, just fill her up.
Another day at the station.
And then when you're done, you just closed, done. So we're doing good there. Hamish,
Here we go. It's me.
he figured out how to fix the brakes.
Yeah. You get airline tubing and then you just suck on it.
Show it.
Oh shit.
I mean, you don't have to suck on it, but explain what you did.
Yeah, it's like all of the bleed screws happen to have a nipple on them, so I just threw this on, cracked it loose, and then this whole rear brake section was all air. So I just sucked it through. You get the line like here, and it's got a shit ton of bubbles in it. Then you just hold it, the bubbles float through, the fluid stays there. Push it back, suck it up, and you just bleed it that way. And I mean, it tastes like brake fluid, but other than that, the cancer comes later, you know? I don't have to worry about it for a few years.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a good
So-
time.
So with that, before we only had front brakes, but now we're thinking with this, we're gonna be able to get that proportion valve to swap back over in center, and then we'll have rear brakes as well, which is a plus.
Especially with our surprise.
Especially with our surprise, which we haven't worked on it all yet, so it might not happen, but.
It's gonna
Maybe.
happen.
And also, did they see that it's an M5?
Yeah, it's an M5.
M5.
It's got the bumpers, it's got the badges, it's an M5.
It's an M5. I just sawzalled the front, so I think we have clearance now. If you want to like check while I turn.
The first ever Sawzalled e34 M5 bumpers. Dude, you're clearing like it's nothing.
We good?
Yeah, you're totally fine.
So, it's day 2 for me, day whatever for you guys. And hold on, I still gotta turn the key off.
It doesn't matter.
I'm holding your hot wire. I just don't want to shock myself. So we were trying to test some of the wiring I did to see if it would turn over, and it does. And the engine has a ground. We weren't sure why it had a ground, but now we know why. Here, I'll just show you. Here, just check it out, YouTube. Here, so Hamish, you're gonna want to shoot the camera.
Okay.
Right there is where it's gonna be. Okay, you have power. Go ahead. Oh, just keep trying it. Hopefully we can get it to spark again. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing things. It's arcing everywhere. Oh my god, dude! There's so many sparks.
Well, you don't
coming
have,
from
you don't have the plug wire.
Yeah, I know, the plug wires are just going, and then over there, it's just.
This is good.
So, in conclusion, the engine ground is being supplied purely because one of these block hugger headers is touching the frame rail, and the paint has been scraped off of it. So that's completing our ground circuit. And so that's where that spark's coming from. And then all of the plug wires are not on right now, but it is turning over, and it has feel like actually this thing should run if we just put a ground on it and plug wires on it. Like, it should actually run.
Seems pretty natural to me, is that for that being an engine ground too, you know?
One thing I was kind of dumb though, I definitely went and got 10 gallons of gas and put it all in the tank.
Why was that dumb?
Now we have to like wait for the fuel to pump into the carburetor.
No, just pour a little bit of the E85 or 110 or whatever into the carb. We'll be fine. I'm
Nothing's plugged in, dude. You're gonna kill Will. Holy shit,
dude, you are making sparks. There's sparks coming from every fucking corner of this engine compartment right now.
All
It's
right.
going.
So we'll be back in a second. We're gonna connect some wires and do some things and make this slightly less horrible.
Yes. All right, so things are slightly less shitty. I have starter fluid sitting here. I'm also in very much the danger zone. I'm straddling all kinds of things that could burn, dismember, remove my genitalia, or otherwise. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to spray flammable liquid into that and hold this hot 12 volt wire onto that hot 12 volt thing while he turns the key. And maybe if we get everything right, this engine will run. So let's see what the fuck happens here. This is fuse wiring.
And this is just open headers.
Open headers. Go. Sounds like I timed it and wired it. Come on, baby. Stop. You just got oil pressure. Did you see that? It was just like, boner! It starts shooting oil straight out of it. It looks very clean though. All right,
Should do.
We need to put the oil pressure gauge on it, or a cap or something.
All right, it's right here. Send me that.
Oh. Ah! All right, ready? We about to make some fire, baby.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it. Go. All the way, hammer it. We've almost got fuel. We got to get the fuel to the fucking carb. Let's try dumping some fuel in the bowls. See what happens. Also, it likes way more advanced than I could have imagined. It's like a lot of advance.
It is on 0, little FaceTime.
This intake right here is the first intake manifold I've ever purchased.
All right, so the guys are gone. They don't know I'm doing this, but I'm embracing my inner roadkill to get this thing going.
6 for $50 out of the trunk of some
Let's be
guy.
honest, we need to
Somebody who has a stolen
channel the inner Dulcich for this one, you know? Or maybe the Freiburger. Dulcich is Mopar. Regardless, I think we need to channel some roadkill right now. You're welcome, Hamish.
There we go, Holly Street Dominator.
Engine
Now, this is a
Masters,
single plane
that's
intake,
where it's at,
which
man.
means it would throw away a lot of bottom end torque, but this has unusually long runners for a single plane, and Dulcich says it's going to make more power everywhere, but that's what we're here to find out. So.
All right, guys. So pretty sad, but it's not happening. E34x4 is not going to the Gambler this year. There's too many little things. It's not running on 8. We can mess with that, but then it's like clutch doesn't work. Not really mess with that. Half the brakes work.
Still doesn't barely get fuel.
Yeah, we have to still. It runs off the gas can on the ground with that. The fuel system in the back doesn't really work.
No brake lights. Just like
No brake lights. We got headlights and one tail light.
stuff that's like
You just start adding it all up, and it's not worth the stress, and then it's not gonna work, and then we have to drive the car like 80 miles tonight just to get to the thing. So it's like it's probably gonna break down on that, and then we're just gonna be dealing with that instead of having fun tomorrow. So, you guys wanna see what we're taking? So, this is I actually don't know who owns this car, and before you get all mad, we're storing this car completely for free for somebody for years now at this point. It's one of our friends' friends, and whatever life circumstances, he's not able to have a car. So we're told to drive it and do what we want with it and do things and just keep it going. So we're gonna take it on the Gambler. We're trying not to bash it and beat it up too much.
Well, now it just says Turd Gambler. So I'm into it.
It's a Turb Gambler 500.
Turb.
And
so it's getting delivery right now.
yeah, we're putting stuff all over it. But again, just plastic dip, and I'll take it off, and I'm detailing the inside for him. It's pretty dirty, so I'll leave it better than I found it, is the best way I can say it, and I hope it makes it. It's a Saab, it's a turbo. I don't know anything about it. It's an engine.
Apparently it's quite fast.
Everybody says it's fast.
We really just had no interest.
The one time I drove it, it like broke up real bad in second gear, and then I realized the gas was probably from 2016, and that was it. So it's got a fresh tank at 91, which is premium for non-Colorado people. California, I think 91 too, but we don't get 93 or any Europe stuff. So it's a Saab, it's a 5-speed, and my wife is coming, and Hamish is gonna ride with us, at least on the way up there, and we'll see, and we'll split around. So we'll see how the Saab treats us.
But next time you guys see us, we'll be at the Gambler.
We'll be at the Gambler.
All right, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, guys.
Yep.
Alrighty.